It's a beautiful day in Michigan. It's cold, but it's sunny. And if you are in Michigan, you know what that means. So let's continue with our review of the Schmincke's Supergranulation series. Last week, I reviewed the Galaxy set, so if you have missed that video, please find the link in the description. This week, I'm going to review the desert colors. So first I will swatch them out, then I will do a trial painting, and I guess I'm also ready to do a scorecard. So I'm going to swatch out Schmincke's Supergranulation desert set today. And I got these colors out, and this is the first time I'm using Schminke colors. I mean, it's barely been just days. I've always used Holbein mainly and some Daniel Smith. And I like that these colors are actually numbered. So these colors, the desert set, are 921, 922, 923, 924, and 925. And the names are the desert yellow, the desert orange, the desert brown, desert green, and the desert gray. And what I really like about this Supergranulation series, as I said in my previous video when I was swatching and reviewing the Galaxy set, is I like that the 40 or 50 Supergranulation colors are organized into themes, and these themes relate to a natural element, like they have the desert theme, like this one, they have a galaxy, they have a tundra, they have a haze, and so on. And each one of them has exactly 5 colors. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, I think that's 5 stars for organization. And something that I also noticed in the Galaxy set, which I did not make a note in the video, but I'm making in this one, is the Galaxy colors had a key pigment. The common pigment in, I believe it was in all 5 or at least in 4, was the ultramarine blue. And in this one, as I was noting down the pigments, I just noticed PY159, which is zirconium praseodymium yellow, a hard name. This is the first time I'm saying this name. Is the pigment that is repeatedly seen, and it makes its appearance in 4 of the 5 colors. So you see that it's there in the desert yellow, desert orange, desert brown, and the desert gray. It's not there in the green. So I haven't seen the other sets, but I think we perhaps would find this theme, that there is a key pigment, and they built those 5 pigments in the theme around that key pigment, creating various interesting variations. Now that said, that doesn't take away from the adventurous nature of these pigments. I'm absolutely enjoying reviewing these, and I'm also enjoying, I did a couple of paintings the other day. So I really like how they behave, and they definitely have a different character. So let's swatch out this desert series today and see what we find. So here are the 5 colors, and I'm going to swatch them out. The first color we're looking at is the desert yellow. And trying to get the mass tone here, and then the undertone. And I'll try and get absolute dilute reveal. So that's the desert yellow, fairly greenish, and it has a raw umber and the PY159, which is zirconium praseodymium yellow. And I was reading about this PY159 zirconium praseodymium yellow, and seems like it was developed for the ceramic industry, and I could not find much information or history about it, like about its subjective characteristics. because I'm usually interested in that. It gives me some idea of what it would translate to the viewer if we use them, if we use a pigment in our painting. The next one is the desert orange. And I've used the desert orange just day before yesterday in a painting, which I did record. I don't know whether I'm going to put that out as a video or not. But so this one is not new to me. I know what it feels like and what it looks like. A very deep, authentic kind of brown. Now for the undertone. There we go. Like I said in the Galaxy series as well, some of these pigments, when you put down on paper, they seem like single pigments, but it's not too long until they reveal the second pigment. And the desert orange was similar, especially when you put the two granulating pigments next to each other. The drama is even more exciting. It quickly separates into different pigments and give you multiple hues. So that was desert orange. The next one is the desert brown. And I'm moving the brush in my mixing tray and really love this brown. It's the first time I'm putting this on paper. This is the kind of brown I like. A muddy, you know, the actual color of the dirt, if you will. Wonderful. I know I'll go after this brown a lot. So that's the desert brown. The next one is the desert green. And you know, I was looking at these 5 colors and I felt like, where is my desert blue? You know, if you have seen Lawrence of Arabia, it's one of my favorite movies. I love the skies. And you know, I've been to the Middle East once or twice only in my life, but really love the skies there in the natural scenery. So I was wondering if this desert series is, you know, designed to do a desert painting. How do I get those very calm, hazy, almost pale blue that the skies that exist on the desert? So, you know, you know, although as much as I admire they keeping down to just 5 colors, I'm missing a desert blue here. So let's take a look at the desert green for now. And this is a lovely color too. Absolutely almost a gray, but a green nonetheless. You know, it's a green and it's, oh wow, it's a lovely shade of green gray. And actually, if you want to see this on my palette, you can actually see 2 colors here. You can see the brown and the green together. So actually, you know, how exciting is that? You know, I got 1 color out and I see 2 colors on my palette. So wonderful. You can see the brown and the green, actually, sorry, red, the PR108, which is the cadmium red, I believe, and the PG26. I think it's a cobalt, if I'm not wrong. Yep, it's a cobalt deep green. They just separate right away and give you this supergranulation. Wonderful. And the last one in this set is the desert gray. There we go. It's very closely related to the green, but we'll know I don't want to give my opinion so quickly. Oh, actually not. When I look at the undertone, it does not have the green, does not have the gray, sorry, does not have the green or the red. It's a black, which is true actually because it has the PBK11, which I think is Mars black. So it's supposed to be quite beautiful. Really like this. I like how in the palette both these colors look very similar, but as soon as I put them on paper, they look remarkably different. So we'll let them dry and we'll see what we find out. So here are my final comments on the desert set of the Supergranulation series from Schminke. And wow, I am again impressed with this ensemble. I really love the selection of colors here. I mean, it did inspire me to do this trial painting, which, not that I could not have done it with the other colors I had, but I don't know how much work that would have been, or whether I could have had this kind of granulation and this kind of finish, um, you know, if I had selected the colors from my regular series. So really like this selection. I believe the yellow is the absolute true, the color of the sand dunes, and forms the anchor of this set. And that put together with the orange, the brown, the green, and the gray really completes it. Well, I'll hold off on the complete comment for a bit here. I think the desert green really forms the jewel in the crown, because the way it separates the green and the red, I mean, that's just beautiful. I know I'd be using this in my future paintings. It just stands out the way it performs on paper. Coming back to the completeness, I mean, as impressed as I am, but I do believe we need a blue. The blue that I have used here is the forest blue. Let me grab my swatch card here. As you can see, it is this blue that I used. And if you have ever been to the deserts, actually the deserts, and seen the desertscapes, the blue is so striking. The desert skies are just hazy and the palest blue you have seen in your life. And on certain days it will be an absolutely deep turquoise blue. So you see both versions of the sky over there. And for a person who were to buy this set thinking that they were going to do some desert scapes, I don't think the requirement of that person would be met by just buying this set, because I believe that person would naturally want something for a blue in there. So I believe I am missing a blue. Now that said, it's not necessary to one way to solve that could be, because there are so many blues already in the Supergranulation series, it could be a suggestion like, okay, if you need a desert blue, you perhaps can use a forest blue, or you can even use a galaxy blue or the glacier blue. They both would work very well. So all I'm trying to say, for those who are seeking to buy this and you're thinking of buying the desert set, thinking of buying the desert set with the viewpoint to do desertscapes, and if you need a blue, you need to probably add it. I guess I'm ready to do a scorecard for Schminke Supergranulation series, and I think I will do a separate scorecard for the Supergranulation and the regular series, because I believe that they are separate products, although they are from the same brand. I do wanted to say this, that I have used Holbein, I have used Daniel Smith. I've used Holbein for the longest time, and Daniel Smith for quite a few years now. And this is my first experience with Schminke, and I've used it for a couple of days and done a couple of paintings. I believe they all three stack very close to each other. There isn't a marked difference between the three. The Supergranulation is slightly different because the character of the paint and the performances is just different. I think they have an edge over the Prime Attack, Daniel Smith's Prime Attack. I like the organization of these colors, and I like, they're just a little bit more, they communicate a little bit more to me. So I have swatched out Prime Attack in past, and not that I don't like them. I would choose many colors from Daniel Smith's Prime Attack as well. But these colors, just the way they're organized, it just makes it easier for me to include them and design a palette for my painting. I mean, that's such a big deal. When you are doing paintings day in, day out, to know where to find in your color library what you need is a big deal. I mean, that'll just make you go to that color again and again. And I'm saying this, but I mean, Now there are colors that in Daniel Smith that are just stuck in my brain. I remember a color called Serpentine, which is just stuck in my brain. That had such an impression that I will remember it forever. So whenever I have a project that requires that color, I will definitely remember that. But this kind of organization, where you have the natural themes and you have 5 colors in each theme, just makes it so much easier for an artist to pick something and include them in the palette. So that definitely is a big deal for me. So, but quality wise, the Primatech and the Supergranulation, I think, are very close to each other. There isn't a big difference, and the regular lines as well. There isn't qualitatively, there isn't a big difference between Holbein and Schminke and Daniel Smith. So I just wanted to say that up front. And many of the scores are going to be the 8, 9, and 10 in this case. I am going to reserve the 10 for something because I haven't reviewed every paint that's out there. So, you know, I want to reserve that block for something that truly amazes me. So let's discuss the price a little bit. The Schminke paints are a little expensive. I would say they are quite a bit expensive compared to Holbein and Daniel Smith, at least if you look at the current prices. I believe the Holbein and Daniel Smith are at the mark of $4 to $5 per 5 ml, and Schminke stands around $8.50. So $8.50 per 5 ml paint. And that gives you a perspective that you are paying more for these colors. If you ask me for Supergranulation, maybe I will pay somewhat extra because they're just, you know, like I said, I value organization a lot. And that said, if you can get past the organization, you would be perfectly happy with the Primatech Daniel Smith paints. And so it's not like you have to spend that amount. And as you know, I got these as a gift, so I don't know what my decision would have been if I had to purchase them. So whether I can justify this price or not. But I'm glad I've seen another series. So the price is $8.50 approximately for 5 ml paint. And I am going to review the Galaxy and Desert colors today. I haven't seen the other themes, and I don't even have the Volcano and the Urban. I have the 8, I don't have the all 10. And these are positioned as professional colors, and the line and the brand is Schminke Horadam Aquarelle. Looking at the purity and vibrancy, no one can question that. I mean, these are the best in the market, and that said, they are very close to Daniel Smith and Holbein. No difference there, so I will give it a 9 there. I can feel the pigment overload, and I only feel a pigment when I put my brush in there. And they re-wet very easily, and certain pigments are different, so they might not re-wet. It changes pigment by pigment, but generally the experience of painting is super wonderful. The granulation, staining, and evenness. Now this is the characteristic of a paint of if it's supposed to stain, is it staining? If it's supposed to be even, is it even? If it's granulating, is it granulating? You know, and boy, these paints do granulate, and they do travel on paper. So this one has blown my mind. I don't know if I was that blown away when I did Daniel Smith. So I will actually go ahead and give it a 10. And I will rarely give a 10. But this is best in the market, and actually I cannot imagine if something can beat that. The mass tone and undertones, I think they fare very well. Are they anything better than a Holbein or Daniel Smith? I think all of them are, I would say 8.5, but I'll keep them at 8. And I'm saying all of them are equal, so I will give them an 8. The diffusion definitely for this series is really good, so let's give it a 9 there. The layering, I think they layered very well when I painted. You know, I did not do a demo on that, but my experience on layering was pretty good, so I will give it a 9 there. The mixing Yes, the supergranulation colors mix with each other very well. I don't even have to look at the pigments, you know. I can just blindly put one color against the other. At least that's true for the Galaxy series and the Desert series. So it's definitely a 9. The light fastness per the info. I'm not testing light fastness here, so I'm just reading about that, and I hear that the granulation series is very light fast, so I would give it a 9. It could be a 10, but let's keep it at 9. Drying consistency. By this I mean, like when I painted and when the painting dried, did it wow me? Did it get better, or did it just fall flat? I think the supergranulation would wow you even more than the non-supergranulation colors. So I would definitely give it a 9 here. Product info completeness. Generally, my observation is that German companies are just excellent at this. I've been using German stationery and German supplies since I was very young, and since I was in art school, even back in India. And I think they always have an edge on the product completeness and the information they provide. And what to say, even the packaging. I really love that. They're always slightly tiny bit better, you know, like they'd put them in a wooden box, they'll put them in a very nice organized fashion, and you know, there'll be always an attention to the nth level of detail. So product info completeness, can't question that. I mean, it has to be a 5 here. I mean, these scores are out of 5, so the overall scorecard is out of 105 here. So this is 80 and 3 scores out of 5. Packaging, I wish I could give them a 6, because I haven't seen a brand that packages their colors better than any German brand, and Schminke is just right up there. But 5 is the max score, so I will give them a 5. Product design, color selection, editions. Like I said, I am amazed by how the colors are. Like, I had my criticism of not having a blue in the Desert collection. I can even criticize that the Galaxy color did not have the Galaxy yellow. Like, if you know what I mean, if you pull up and look at the pictures from the spaces, there is this very fine, very pale, bright yellow that's almost a white, and I was missing that. And and that's why maybe I used my gouache here to have these to make it star studded. But you know, that's like I'm going beyond, like above and beyond in my criticism. Could anyone do better? Yes, but I don't think I can. If I have to compare this with other brands, they definitely steal the show. So this cannot be less than a 5 here. I mean, Schminke is better than Daniel Smith and better than even Holbein in their organization, in their packaging, and you know, the scorecard and just the way the product comes to you, and the amount of thought that goes in lining up the paints and putting them in the box even. And you know, like I know many artists, me included, I preserve the original backing of the colors and I place them exactly at that spot. I mean, that's how I keep them organized. I never leave them loose. And that's something that I learned early on, and actually from a friend. You know, she kept her stationery always in the original backing and the way, always put it back, and that just helps you so much. And to have the original packing really helps that activity for me, so I value that highly. So I wish I could give them more, but I'm giving them all 5 over here. So the overall score is 87, and so these numbers do mean something to me, and the whole idea is to put an objective comparison. So I believe the Holbeins and the Daniel Smith will be in the same range, and if I would put a Cotman, then they are 5s and 6. So just to give you a little bit perspective of what 87 means here. So here are a few notes. The Supergranulation series has inspired me in my art and has given me a new energy. And this energy has lasted for a week now. It is incredible that I haven't gone back to my usual palette for a week, and I've done 4 or 5 paintings in the last week with just these colors. Can there be a desert blue, and can there be a galaxy yellow, please? So that's something that I would love to have. I mean, if there could be a granulating pale blue and a granulating pale yellow, I would definitely use it. I love how these are organized, and that organization really helps the use of these paints and helps the artist to actually reach the right paint when they need it. And the quality is super as expected. It's way up there with the top brands, and it did not disappoint me.